Lady Gaga, the girl who was told she wasn't beautiful enough and became a global icon. Some artists become famous because of talent, some because of luck. But Lady Gaga, she became famous because she refused to let the world decide her worth. Her journey isn't just the rise of a pop star. It's the story of a girl who was mocked, rejected, broken, yet stood back up and reinvented herself into something the world had never seen. Stefani Germanotta grew up in New York City, and from a young age, she stood out. Deep-set eyes, a slightly large nose, wild curly hair, a small frame. She didn't look like the other girls at school, and because of that, she became a target. They told her she was weird. They told her she was ugly. They told her she would never be a star because she didn't look the part. But what hurt most wasn't the bullying. It was realizing that people were defining her value based on how she looked, not who she was. That pain became the seed of Lady Gaga, a woman who would one day break every rule society tried to cage her with. Gaga wrote her first song at 13, played piano at 4. Music wasn't a hobby, it was her identity. At 19, she finally landed a record deal with Def Jam. She believed her dream had begun. But just 3 months later, they dropped her. No warning, no explanation. She said, "They left me like I never existed." It was a moment that could have destroyed her, but instead of giving up, she went back to the tiny bars and underground clubs of New York, performing alone, creating her own sound, building her own world. No one believed in her, but she believed in herself. Stefani Germanotta was gone. In her place, she created a new persona, Lady Gaga, fearless, theatrical, exaggerated, unapologetic. She embraced the idea that she would never be pretty by society's standards. So instead, she decided to be iconic. Platinum blonde hair, strange, futuristic outfits, a personality that nobody could ignore. And one mission. If the industry won't make a place for me, I'll build my own stage. Her boldness caught the attention of producer Akon. He once said, "She was unlike anyone we'd ever seen." And that's how the transformation began. In 2008, when Just Dance hit the radio, few knew it came from a girl who had once been rejected by every major label. But within months, she became a phenomenon. The fame monster, born this way. These weren't just albums, they were declarations. You don't have to be perfect to be loved, you just have to be yourself. Suddenly, the same traits people mocked, her eccentricity, her strangeness, her boldness, became the very things that made her unforgettable. But behind the fame, Gaga carried scars the world didn't see. Trauma from her teenage years, chronic pain and fibromyalgia, anxiety and depression, pressure to be a symbol, physical exhaustion, and a constant fear of not being enough, even on top of the world. She once said, "Fame is a prison." Yet instead of letting the pain break her, she turned it into art, turning trauma into music, fear into creativity, and tears into strength. Lady Gaga's story isn't about perfection. It's about taking what the world calls flaws and transforming them into power. She reminds us that, and sometimes, the world just needs one person brave enough to say, "This is who I am, and that is enough." Lady Gaga isn't just a superstar. She's a reminder that every one of us has the right to shine in our own wild, beautiful, extraordinary way.